All right, welcome everybody. Today's practice. Today's session is going to be a little different. I'm actually calling it, I'm calling it Beyond Comprehension. So as we're starting off, I'd like you to relax any preference or desire to understand things. So some of the things that are going to come up today are going to be beyond comprehension. It's a bit of a prison to always live in the world of comprehension, to always want to understand everything. It's nice to step into the fresh air of not understanding, not knowing the mystery. So in today's session, we will push the boundaries of what we think is possible. It's going to be a pretty rich session, I think, pretty multifaceted. It's going to remind some of you of your multidimensional nature. I'm feeling like suggesting, if you haven't had water for a while, just be well hydrated for today's session. So if you're a little dehydrated, then get a sip of water. So in today's practice, we're going to relax the idea that you're only in one place at a time. We're going to not so tightly hold on to the idea that you're only in one place at a time. So it's possible for you to be in multiple places at a time and also multiple times. And so we're just going to go with the assumption that you can multiply yourself into 2 and 5 and 10 and 100 and 1,000 and 10,000 and 1,000,000. I'm going to go with the assumption that you can multiply yourself. And you can be in multiple places at a time, and you can even be in multiple points of time. We're just going to play with that assumption. Somehow, a theme that's been coming to me quite strongly today and the last few days is that we need to reawaken our imagination. Somewhere we have lost the power of our imagination. And we're just following what we've been told. It's like you're half asleep, maybe 90% asleep. And part of the reason some of us are so sad and struggling so much is because we're just not awakening the power of our imagination. And so we're going to reclaim that power tonight. So you can be in multiple places at a time. You can be at any point in time, as though you've got the ability to multiply yourself. Multiply yourself as many times as you like. And for the purpose of today's session, I want you to think that that's really real. If you can imagine that being in one place at a time is real, I want you to equally imagine that being able to be in multiple places at the same time and in the same place across multiple points of time is also possible. And that is no less real. And we're going to play with the phrase, a part of me is. It's interesting, this practice came to me a few years back. I was in England, UK, and I was going through a bit of an emotional turmoil, and I couldn't quite get out of it. And I was taking a train from Leeds to Reading, and it was, I think, 2 hours, 2.5 hours train ride. And the whole time, I kept getting my mind back to the main thing that was bugging me. I really wanted to get to the root of it. I didn't want to distract myself. So I just kept getting my mind back to the main thing that was bugging me again and again and again and again for those 2 hours. And quite unexpectedly, somewhere in those 2 hours, something just exploded. Something just unraveled, and I realized, oh my, I'm suffering because I'm imagining I'm in only one place at a time. The truth is, I can be any place and at any time. And there was the most beautiful expansion. It was like a complex mathematical equation just resolved itself. And something that had been bugging me for several weeks instantly dissolved. And I was just left with bliss. So in today's practice, I'm going to do something radical. The spontaneous fulfillment of every unfulfilled wish and desire. How? A part of you is already doing that. Did you want to be on an island? All right, so a part of you is now on an island. Did you want to be teaching in a school somewhere, in a village? All right, a part of you is teaching in a school somewhere, in a village. Did you want to be a race car, Formula One race car driver? All right, so a part of you is a Formula One race car driver. Did you want to create an amazing organization where people love to come to work and you're supporting so many families? They're so happy. All right, so part of you is doing that. These are some examples. And it can get even more interesting than this, but this is a good start. So in today's session, I would invite you to, at least in the beginning, make use of the chat. I'm monitoring the chat on Zoom and on Instagram, and to some extent on YouTube as well. So fill in the blanks. A part of me is, and fill in the blanks. What are the part of you? What would you like a part of you to be doing? Even as you're here right now, what is a part of you doing? Let's get some examples. Part of me is with my brother. Part of me is exploring Egypt. A part of me is in the UK with my grandson. A part of me is working with children. Part of me is dancing on a stage, swimming in the ocean. A part of me is creating a happy, harmonious, conscious, educational community. A part of me is traveling in the mountains. A part of me is in Africa. A part of me is gardening. A part of me is in space. A part of me is working in a university. A part of me is touring the world. A part of me is in heaven. A part of me is going to the mountains and meditating. A part of me is with my sister in Melbourne. A part of me is being a good mother. Great, so you got a hang of this. A question, is it not going against being in the present moment? Really? Have you learned the art of time travel? Have you left the present moment? How are you not in the present moment? Everything's happening in the present moment, isn't it? Are my instructions not in the present moment? Are your thoughts not in the present moment? Anyway, this session is called Beyond Comprehension, so it doesn't matter if you don't understand. Just play with me. Don't spoil the game by asking philosophical questions. Just play the game with me. Don't compare this with any other teaching of mine or anybody else's. All right, you're all going to hang of this. So now go ahead. For a timeless moment, whatever you wrote, whatever you thought of, go ahead and enter that dimension. A part of you is fill in the blanks. Experience that. Someone said a part of me is walking in the lanes of Paris. Someone's performing Kathak dance on stage. So go ahead, experience that. All right, what's the next? So I don't want you to just get hypothetical about this. I want you to take very real, unfulfilled wishes that you have. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to have a deep romantic connection with someone. Maybe you want to own a castle, live in a castle. Maybe you want to float in the sky like a cloud. Take up very real things that for you, you actually would actually like that. It's not just a fantasy. It's not just a nice wishful thought, but you really would like that. So what's the next one? If you want to write it down, you can, but you don't have to. A part of me is living in India and working for a social cause. Part of me is traveling to Galapagos and working closely with the wildlife conservation. Part of me is near a beach. Yeah, whatever you've come up with, go ahead and touch that part of you. And a part of you is already doing that. And notice how that feels. Notice how sometimes when you do that, another part of you says, yeah, but how can it happen? Yeah, but that's an imagination. So I want you to press mute on that part. The part of you that's a skeptic, that's a cynic. For the purpose of today, that part can take a holiday. Life is far more mysterious than we imagine. So for today, we're going to just go ahead and experience it. Don't worry about how it'll happen, when it'll happen. Just experience it. A part of you is fill in the blanks and feel it. We're awakening your multidimensional nature. You're waking up to the dreamlike nature of reality. In any case, we have these kinds of dreams and fantasies, but we think, oh, that's just an imagination. But now I'm saying, no, it's very real. If you think of it, there's a part of you that's actually experiencing that. And so you can be completely at ease. A part of you is experiencing that right now. And of course, if nothing much is coming, then enjoy just being. But don't be in such a hurry to be. Too often we are suppressing layers and layers and layers with this idea of being. So for the purpose of today, acknowledge and then let it branch out into a part of you that is fill in the blanks. There could be a part of you that's reading a book. Maybe you have lots of unread books. So maybe you can multiply yourself into 1,000. And each of those 1,000 is reading each of those books and taking in whatever is needed from those books, whatever is most valuable from those books. That's one example. You can multiply yourself into any number of parts. Maybe you have regrets about the past, wasted time, wasted opportunities. You can send a part of you back in time to follow a different track, a different decision tree. Whatever you regret, a part of you is going and healing that and making a new choice. Because you're not limited by space and time anymore, you see. Come, play with me, play wholeheartedly. A part of me is. Where, like sometimes you really push your computer. So in a way, I'm really pushing your brain. We're awakening parts of your brain that might have been sleeping for a long time. You're going into hyperdrive. It's all right. A part of me is. Okay, let's go faster than the speed of conscious thought. In the next 10 seconds, you branch out into 500 versions of yourself. They may not all even look like you, doesn't matter. 500 versions, and each one of them is fulfilling a deep heart desire. Starting now. 500 versions of you have branched out. Each one of them is fulfilling a deep heart desire. You may not even consciously understand, and that's all right. Beyond comprehension. Along your spinal column, you have 7 chakras. From each of the 7 chakras, 100 rays of light are emerging. Each ray of light represents one part of you. Whatever is unfulfilled at any chakra level, in the next 10 seconds, it's getting activated, and a part of you is going ahead and fulfilling it. So go ahead and activate all 7 chakras simultaneously. And 100 rays of light from each of the chakras, radiating in all directions, across space and time. A part of you is. It's already gone way faster than conscious thought. So if you can't keep up, that's fine. But just keep going. We are told that in the body there are 200 trillion cells. Each one of those cells is getting a free ticket, a free pass to do whatever it likes. Any unfulfilled wish, spontaneous fulfillment of desire. So what's it like for all 200 trillion cells to spontaneously go ahead and just experience whatever they want like it's already happening? Suddenly a great suspicion has arisen. Are you doing this practice? Or is this practice doing you? Are you the one branching out? Or are you yourself a branch? Are you yourself a branch out of a deeper tree? A beautiful skepticism, suspicion has arisen about your own state. And it's healthy. Over the next 2 minutes, without any further instruction, this branching out keeps taking place. A part of you is, a part of you is, a part of you is. Could be 1 at a time, 2 at a time, 100 at a time, 500 at a time, 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000, 1,000,000,000,000 at a time, doesn't matter. Could be conscious, could be subconscious. A part of you is. This is happening continuously. Spontaneous fulfillment of desire. What would normally send you on a spin of 1,000 lifetimes, you're cleaning it up right away. You're cleaning it up right away. Experiencing it all right away. Every single thing you imagined would fulfill you. Go ahead and fulfill yourself. It's like Rumi would say, stop behaving like a beggar. You're the most cherished guest. Stop behaving like a beggar. You're not dependent on anyone or anything. You can instantly branch yourself out in a million billion different directions, spontaneously fulfilling every desire, every non-desire, every state of being imaginable. But for too long, we have not trusted this imagination. But it's time to reimagine every single thing. A part of you is. Sometimes when I say branch out, you imagine that you're making a duplicate of your physical body and mind. And that's all right. But you don't have to be so caught up in this idea of being a body and mind. Part of you could also be air. Part of you could also be water. Part of you could also be earth element, fire element, space element. Part of you could be pure consciousness. Part of you could be anything conceivable or inconceivable. So when you multiply yourself into many, many parts, it doesn't have to be a duplicate of what you imagine you look like. Awakening your multidimensional nature. For too long, you have forgotten it. It's time to wake up. Time to wake up. Wake up, dreamer. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up within the dream. You chose to forget, and you chose to be reminded. So this is a reminder. Wake up. Wake up. You're not who you think you are. What we're doing is permanently rewiring your brain, permanently recalibrating your brain in a way that you can never quite be fully deceived again. Even if you get sleepy, you can never fall asleep again. We're permanently rewiring your brain. It's a beautiful cognitive upgrade. Permanent, non-reversible upgrade. A part of me is. A part of you is an ant on a wall. A part of you is a planet Jupiter. A part of you is a coral reef deep in the ocean. A part of the ocean where no human has ever come. A part of you is a dewdrop. A part of you is a rock in the shadow of another rock. A part of you is a blue ribbon. A part of you is the energy on the first day of school. A part of you is drinking water after a long period of thirst. Part of you is regaining health. A part of you is the knowledge of all possible books ever compiled simultaneously. Part of you is the language by which cells communicate, trees communicate, oceans communicate, whales communicate, stars communicate. A part of you is longing, deep longing, and a part of you is belonging, deep belonging. A part of you is that most essential enlightenment of all realized beings. A part of you is deep trusting everyone and everything, no matter what. A part of you is the flow of goods and services and money and resources and kindnesses across the human world. A part of you is pollen. A part of you is sunlight, warming a cliff. A part of you is fruit seconds before it falls off the plant. And a part of you is 100 million other things simultaneously. Beyond comprehension. Part of you has a knowledge of all worlds, up and down, left and right, in and out, and worlds within worlds, mirrors within mirrors. Part of you has a knowledge of all worlds simultaneously. Part of you has knowledge of all time, past and future. nuances of the present, hidden dimensions of time. A part of you has access to all this knowledge. It is this knowledge right now. A part of you has admin access to this universe. You can play with settings of what human life is supposed to be like, of what physics is supposed to be like, of what gravity is supposed to be like, of what anything is supposed to be like. You have admin access. Anything can be tweaked. Would you be willing to allow yourself to be in a trillion places at once, right now? A part of you is that most basic frequency of the universe itself, the universe knowing itself. What's that like? Hmm. Let's do a little grounding chant. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manassanang buddho bhagavati. Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akkaliko ehipassiko apanayiko pachattang veditambo vinyohiti. Suparipanno bhagavato savaka sangho ujuparipanno bhagavato savaka sangho nyayaparipanno bhagavato savaka sangho samichi paripanno bhagavato savaka sangho yadidang chattari purusa yukani atta purusa pungala isa bhagavato savaka sangho ahunayya bahunayya dakhinayya anjali karaniyo anuttarang panyakhetang lokasadi. Ye cha buddha tita cha ye cha buddha anagata paccuppanna cha ye buddha vandami sambada. Ye cha dhamma tita cha ye cha dhamma anagata paccuppanna cha ye dhamma vandami sambada. Ye cha sangha tita cha ye cha sangha anagata paccuppanna cha ye sangha vandami sambada. Nati me saranang anyang buddho me saranang varang etena satchavajjena sotite hotu sambada. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu samba devata samba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu samba devata samba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu samba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Beautiful. So there are many parts of you, and each one of them is doing whatever they're doing. We never have to feel unfulfilled. We never have to feel trapped. We can just branch off into a new time stream, life stream. We don't have to be in conflict with our reality. Every don't want reveals what I really want. Every really want reveals the deeper, mysterious power of love. Every deeper, mysterious power of love reveals cosmic secrets. Things never heard before. Things never told before. Things never suspected before. Dullabo, dullabo. Rare and precious. Rare and precious. Permanent etching has happened. Permanent etching has happened in a way that you have become a portal. You're no longer a person, you're a portal. portal of all kinds of experiences at a very rapid rate. Millions of unfulfilled thoughts and wishes and desires get fulfilled. Spontaneous fulfillment of desire. And this is how you step out of the resistance, the fear, the anxiety, because a part of you is doing it. A part of you is having it. A part of you is experiencing it. A part of you is tuned into it. And don't be so quick to dismiss, oh, that's just imagination. Everything in your life is imagination. Let's be very clear about that. So might as well activate the power of imagination. What society will say, that's a big imagination. How do you know what society will say? What is society but a big imagination? Right? How much of what we do is to try to fit in? Right. So this is the practice which came to me in my moment of confusion and stickiness. Came to me on a train in the UK, something I'd never read before, never heard before, just branched out of me. Skillful means, upai. And what was bugging me for a long time instantly got resolved. The same way each one of you has had a chance to take some part of you that might be feeling constrained or stiff or unfulfilled or unacknowledged. And consciously and unconsciously, you've allowed each one of those parts to be fully expressed, fully expressed, fully expressed, branching off in a million ways. So this is the pulsation, this is the heartbeat of the universe. Branch out into infinity. Come back to source, which is emptiness. From emptiness, a branching out into infinity. From the edges of infinity, which is also emptiness, branching back into this emptiness. Knowing that the emptiness is full of power and the branching out is also inherently empty. So a beautiful medicine has been offered in today's session, a deep medicine, mystical medicine, beyond comprehension. Beyond comprehension. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to make sense of it. Don't try to bracket it into, oh, this is a guided meditation or this or that. No, this is powerful medicine. This is coming straight from source. And this is designed to rip out the veil of forgetfulness. Nothing less than that. Full spectrum awakening, multidimensional living, instantly healing across space and time. Nothing is in excess, nothing is lacking. The entire cosmic equation just got balanced, because whatever was imbalanced went across to the other side and balanced. Cosmic equation just got balanced and continues to get more balanced. Very nice. This journey is going to get more and more mysterious. If you think this was a lot, well, Get ready for it. So allow yourself to expand in this way and allow yourself to fully own this, make it your own. It's resonating not because it's coming from me, it's resonating because it's something you've always known. You just forgot for a while. All right, many blessings. We are done for today. Take rest. Be well.